The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark.
Glory to you, Lord.
James and John, the sons of Zebedee, came to Jesus and said to him, "Teacher, we want you to do for us whatever we ask of you." He replied, "What do you wish me to do for you?" They answered him, "Grant that in your glory we may sit one at your right and the other at your left." Jesus said to them, "You do not know what you are asking. Can you drink the cup that I drink, or be baptized with the baptism with which I am baptized?" They said to him, "We can." Jesus said to them, "The cup that I drink, you will drink, and with the baptism with which I am baptized, you will be baptized. But to sit at my right or at my left is not mine to give, but is for those for whom it has been prepared." When the 10 heard this, they became indignant at James and John. Jesus summoned them and said to them, "You know that those who are recognized as rulers over the Gentiles lord it over them, and their great ones make their authority over them felt. But it shall not be so among you. Rather, whoever wishes to be great among you will be your servant, and whoever wishes to be first among you will be the slave of all. For the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
From the moment we were conceived, from the moment we were placed in our mother's womb, we were destined for greatness. And you might say, "Well, how? We didn't do anything." Well, in God's eyes, you don't have to do much. In the world we live in order to have greatness, you have to do something spectacular, right? You have to be a great entertainer, or maybe Aaron Judge, get a lot of home runs. But in God's eyes, all you have to do to be great is to do simple things. Love God above all, and love one another as you love yourselves. Jesus says, whoever wishes to be great will be the servant of all. Whoever wishes to be first will be the slave for all. They should think. Love God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your being. Love one another. And Jesus says to do that, we do it by service. We do it by serving one another. That's how we show our love. See all the 4th, 5th, and 6th graders here? Can you stand up? How many of you filled out a card that you saw Jesus in a work of mercy this week? Wow. Well, look at that. Now, what would you think if I were to tell you, because I know Jesus would tell you that you are all great. The service that you do brings joy to others. The service that you do requires you to let go of yourselves. To put everything else aside and focus on another human being. And that is unbelievable. And that is a great gift. And that's what makes you great. You don't have to do something spectacular. You can sit down. You don't have to do something spectacular. It could be as simple as holding open a door for somebody. Or saying thank you to somebody. God lays it out for all of us. Yes, from the moment we were conceived and placed in our mother's wombs, we were destined for greatness. But something happens as we start to journey through our lives. What do you think happens? The world happens. When we were created, we were destined for greatness. God created us to be loving and caring and merciful. He created us so that we can love one another the way that He loves us. But then the world comes in and says, well, that's not the way it is. The world tells us to be great, we have to do something really special. The world defines success as being successful in business or in entertainment or in sports. And if you can't do that, then you're nobody. That's what the world tells us. The world tells us that greatness is reserved for a select few. But we already know that Jesus said, you are all great because of what you do for one another and what you do for others. I think the confusion comes in is when we can't decide who we're supposed to serve. I remember years ago, not too many years ago, maybe 10 or 12 years ago, before they revised the Roman Missal, at the end of Mass, Deacon would say, go in peace to love and serve the Lord and one another. That was the dismissal. Go in peace to love and serve the Lord and one another. It starts with service to the Lord, giving God all His due, and to going out and loving one another. But in today's world, are we serving the Lord? How many of us are serving the Lord? If I asked you right now, how many people here have a cell phone in their hand? Because that becomes, yeah. Are we serving the Lord, or are we serving technology? Are we serving the Lord, or are we serving the mighty dollar? Are we serving the Lord, or are we serving ourselves? There's this great myth that's been put out there by somebody, I don't know who it was, that all you have to do is live your truth. Live your truth. Well, that sounds a little self-serving, doesn't it? Live your truth. You weren't put here to serve yourself. You were put here to serve God and one another. Live your truth. No, the truth we should be living is Christ's truth. He is the way, the truth, and the life. And if we're going to speak about truth, we have to be speaking about Him. And when you do a work of mercy, and when you share your love with one another, you are speaking the truth without even using words. Jesus treated everybody the same, no matter who they were. He showed mercy to anybody who needed it. He showed the disciples how to love. Jesus got down on His knees at the Last Supper and washed the feet of His disciples. But listen to this. One of those disciples was the one who was going to betray Him. And Jesus still washed His feet. Service to others is about humility. Service to others is about letting your ego go. Service to others is not about you, but about Christ and His love and His mercy. Today's readings remind us of what we're supposed to be doing. And I see that the young people from Faith Formation are doing it. We got to work on some of us adults. We really do. The other day I was outside at the hospital, in the parking lot, and I'm watching a security guard comes out, big guy, badge, and a lady comes out in a wheelchair, and she has somebody helping her, but she just seems overwhelmed. And this big, burly, tough-looking security guard comes out, and he helps her with everything she has. Helps her get her packages into the car. Helps her to get into the front seat. Helps her to fold up her wheelchair and put that in the back of the car. It's not something he had to do. That was not part of his job description, but he did that as a child of God. He humbled himself. He said, no, I'm here to serve, and I'm here to love. And that is what he did. And what an inspiration he was. When I was your age, 9, 10, 11 years old, There was a lady in my block, her name was Chancy, and she wanted to play the piano in the worst way. And the worst is the opposite word. She was terrible. But I played the piano. And my mother said, Bill will go and sit with you while you play the piano. No, I don't want to. Bill will go, sure. So there it was, nice sunny day. I want to play baseball with my friends. I was going to Chancy's house to listen to her play the piano. But you know what? My being there brought her such amazing joy. It made her feel special. It was a little thing. It meant nothing in the overall scheme of things. It meant nothing to what's going on in the world. But in her little world, in her lonely place where she lived by herself, she had somebody to listen to her play the piano. And as I look back on that, that brings me joy. Without realizing it, I was doing something special. I was doing the work of mercy. I was giving a part of myself. I could have been out with my friends, but in my humility, it was humility. I went to listen to Chancy playing the piano. And I could still hear her voice, and I could still see her stubby fingers trying to hit the keys. Oh my God, what a beautiful moment. What a blessed moment. What a moment of grace. It was at that moment, it was like heaven and earth came together. She was in her glory, a child of God who felt like somebody cared. Yes, we were destined for greatness, every single one of us. Let's look to be great in the eyes of God, not in the eyes of the world. We don't have to do anything extravagant to be great. We just have to do a little something, a little bit for one another. If we can do that, what a great beginning. What a great start to a new way of living in community, to a new way of living with God in your life. Knowing that God looks at all of you and me and says, thank you. You're doing well, my faithful servant. Amen.